When we spoke last time,
Yeah.
you mentioned that you had been a monk when you were a young.
Well, I was quite a child when I was 5 or 6 years old. I was given by my father as a student to the Gondan monastery, to be together with my teacher, learning for the whole day, almost, without any intervals, no brief and so on. Yeah, I think I was born in 1927. It means in 1933, 4, 5, 6, something like, in 1930s. Yeah, he was a traditionally Mongolian man. He was a rather rich man, and he believed very much. He was a religious person. He had very good contacts with the Gondan Hure monasteries, and he always supported the monasteries and lamas. He was I would say, a great alms giver. Great alms giver, because he donated much to monasteries and lamas and supported all religious ceremonies and so on.
What happened with him during the time of the cultural purges?
Was during this hard period, he was of course arrested in 1937 and was shot within a month.
And your teacher, Ngakramba?
And my Hamba Agramba Lama was also arrested in 1937. And of course, I don't know his fate, but I think he was also killed. Yeah. I think so. Yeah. Of course, Stalin's period was very hard period, of course, and everything was controlled, including science, scholarship, and everything, of course. And it was very limited possibilities to study, to carry on a genuine research in the field of social sciences. It was very hard. Nevertheless, it was possible. It depended upon a person. After the closing of all monasteries, I was, of course, came back to my home. And when I was 11 years old, I went to the elementary school. And so this was the beginning of my modern education. And then after finishing the middle school, I was selected as one of the best students to be sent to Moscow to study and to get my higher education. At that time, I was 19 years old. 19 years. And of course, Khrushchev's period is a special period. It is a special period in the history of Russia, I think, in the history of communism, I think. It was a more liberal period. And so I was again sent to Moscow to study. And during this, it was at this period I had met George Roerich, the son of Nicholas. Yeah. And so it's so coincided in the one and the same year, that's 1957. I came from Ulaanbaatar to Moscow to study, and George Roerich also came back to Moscow. He was permitted to come to Russia, to return to Russia. He came to Moscow just 1 month before my arrival to Moscow. Yeah, it was a happy fate, I would say. Very happy period, for me, at least, yeah. Well, my meeting with George Roerich was in 1957. And at this period, I was a student of the Institute for Oriental Studies of the Russian Academy of Science, and I was looking for my professor to learn Tibetan and Sanskrit, and also to be guided in writing my doctor's thesis. I was looking for my tutor. And so I was recommended to go to his house and to talk with him. And when we met for the first time, he was very glad to have a Mongol to talk, to speak, and asked him whether he could agree to be my tutor. He told me with great pleasure, I will be very happy to work with the Mongolian student. The first meeting took almost 2 hours, I think so, because he was very much interested in Mongolia and was very happy to speak Mongolian with the Mongolian. And so it seemed to me that it was very interesting for him to talk with the Halkha Mongolian in Mongolian. And so he told me from the beginning that I will teach you Tibetan Sanskrit, and he told me, you will teach me spoken Halkha Mongolian. During this conversation, he told me that he was in Mongolia in 1926 and 27 with his father's expedition. And I studied under his tutorship for 3 years, from 57 and 60. And he died just 1 month before my defending my doctor's thesis. Yeah, he died in May. I defended my thesis in June.
Many Russians I've met speak about his death as though it were some kind of government conspiracy theory.
You know, it is very, very difficult to say, but I heard about these rumors, of course. Even at that time, there was such rumors spread in Moscow, and later on, of course. But nobody knows, I think so. It is difficult to say certainly, because he died certainly. Quite, we didn't expect. He never fell ill, never fell ill, and you know, it was, I think, 5-6 years ago, while reading Roerich's travel records of the expedition, George Roerich's book, I saw a picture of an old wooden house. And suddenly an idea struck me that there is a similar house in Ulaanbaatar. It seemed to me I have seen this house. And I was reading this book in the evening, and just early morning I went, before going to my office, I went to this house with the book, and with the picture of this house. And so I had started to work to save this house. And I applied to the city government, asking and explaining that this is a very historical house. It shouldn't be abolished, replaced by.
Я вам все скопирую. Все, какие будут кадры, все я вам скопирую. На диск.